I feel like being in a community of people that are in the same mindset as you, the only thing that can happen from that is everybody gets better together.
Hello, I'm Anthony Baji with Placer Review, where we spotlight the top businesses in Placer County. Today I have an interview with Erika Pointdexter of Poindexter Real Estate Group and Spark Studio HQ. Here we go. Erika.
Hi.
Hi. Good to have you here on Placer Review. So your roots, how did it start? Did you grow up around here? Or where are you from? And
My family moved to Sacramento when I was in the 5th grade. I started school in the 5th grade in Sacramento. Moved out to Placer County probably, I guess, 18 years ago, I would say. And then had my daughter, and she's 16, and my 12-year-old son, and just kind of stayed on the Placer County side versus going back to Sacramento.
You were actually recommended through Loomis Community Post.
We live in Rockland. I know, but my business is based in Loomis.
Oh, yeah. Understand. And that is Spark Studio and Poindexter Real Estate.
Yes. So Poindexter Real Estate Group, I've been a real estate agent since 2011. So what are we on? 14 years. And then my husband got his license in 2020. We are a very small team. I have my husband and I have a buyer's agent who is fantastic. And we just keep it tight. And so that has been, our real estate business for the last 5 years, just as the team.
Wow.
And then Spark Studio came to life and opened. It'll be a year on Friday. It's August 1st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What made you get into real estate? What sparked that?
So in 2011 was probably the worst time to get into real estate, if we all know economic history.
Oh, yeah.
But prior to that, I was in sales at multiple positions, and in a row, 2 different companies shut down. So I was an account rep for a produce company. They shut down, and then I was an account rep for like a master agent for AT&T, and then they closed because the economy was terrible and shifting and all the things at that time. And so I was young, I was in my 20s, and I was easy to fire. I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was really, really sick when I was pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, really?
And so I would try to get jobs. I mean, I'm a very hard worker, and I've always been even in my 20s. But I was sick all the time. So, pregnant, I had my last layoff was like a month after I found out I was pregnant. So then just trying to find work and all of that. And I was like, I've always wanted to do real estate. I had a friend whose mom growing up was a real estate agent, and she's still very successful to this day. And I was like, well, if she could do it with kids, like growing up, I can do it. And so when my daughter was first born, I started working on my real estate license. Mm-hmm. It took me longer, with a baby and everything. And then when she was 2, I finally got licensed and just
how's it start now? I heard it's terrible awful. Starting out in the real estate industry.
It's awful because just like any other entrepreneur, right? You're spending money and you're not making anything. And it's difficult to build trust when people you haven't sold anything. So you have to find somebody who give you a shot. And it just takes a lot more time than
most businesses.
You think.
So what was the moment that you realized, oh, I'm actually doing this and I'm creating a little success here?
Yeah. So after I split up with my kid's dad and I was a single mom, I went and got another real job in the midst of having my license. So I was doing real estate and working.
Okay, yeah.
And I got laid off again because they had decided they were eliminating the position. Never have I been fired because of my performance. It's always been a business decision from the business side. Mm-hmm. And so they paid me a small severance and they were like, sorry, we're eliminating this position. I was in marketing and sales again. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was dating my husband at the time, and I said, look, if I can just get fired, no matter what I'm doing, I'm working for myself.
Wow.
Because if I'm going to fail, I'm just going to do it on my own merit. And so he was like, okay, like, you know, I said, give me a year to try to figure this out. And, you know, that was 10 years ago.
So you became essentially a solopreneur at that time.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to figure it out. So in 2011, and then I kind of had the break and all of that and went back to work. So this was probably like 2015, 2016 when I came back into the business.
Gotcha.
Full time. I kept my license. I kept doing real estate. I never told anybody like I quit. So I always kept it like going.
Okay.
But being a single mom, I had to have a full-time income. And then when I got laid off at that point, I guess it was 2016, I was like, I'm just going back to full-time real estate. I'm going to do this. And it was kind of that decision that you make in your life that you're like, I don't have any other option other than to be successful. And I'm going to do whatever that is. Back early on, I was like, hey, like social media was like nothing at the time. But it was something that I was like, why aren't we doing that? But I didn't know any better, right? And I was new in the industry, and so I just listened to the people that knew more than me.
Were any of these people like locals? Was this community aspect?
In 2011, it was just whoever I was training with, right? And then in 2015 or 16, whatever day that was, I was like, I'm going to do social media even if everybody around me is telling me that's stupid.
Oh, wow.
Because even then, and there's still so many things I wish I would have done. I wish I would have stayed consistent with video at that time. I wish I would have done a lot of things. But, you know, people were like, no, you need to pick up the phone and call people. You need a one-on-one, belly to belly, like door knock, call, like all of this. And I was like, no, I can get online and talk to hundreds of people at a time. It was hard because when you're like, I want to be successful, everybody who's successful is not doing what I think I should be doing. So I think I should be doing social media, but everybody else who's successful took this other path of like open houses every weekend and door knocking and calling everybody and, you know, writing letters and all of this. And again, looking back, I'm like, man, if I would have just like been so solid in my conviction of that, I could have done more.
Even more.
Right? Because at that time, you didn't see 10 years from now where that was all going, right? Now, as a real estate agent, if you're not doing social media, you're drowning.
Yeah.
And so had I been like, no, I know this is going to work, I would be in an even better place. But I don't do open houses. I don't door knock. I don't call. It's all referral based and social media. We host 2 events a year for our clients and our referral partners.
Okay.
And that's my opportunity to pick up the phone and connect with my people and invite them to something. But you're never going to hear me call you and say, hey, have you thought about what your home value is this month? If you pick up a call like that and you haven't been thinking about moving for any reason, like it's intrusive. And so if I'm staying in touch with you 2 times a year, offering you something of value, which is our client events, we do something in the summer, and then we do a Santa visit event at Christmas time. And so it's like, it's my way to give back to the people that have referred me, have done business with me over the years. And that's my opportunity to pick up the phone and say, hey, like, how are you doing? How's the family? Like, do you want to come to our event? And invite people. And so if I'm coming at people with anything regarding business, it's going to come from a place of value and I'm not just calling you out of the blue for something for me.
You have a new business as well, Spark Studio.
So Spark Studio came to life. I spent the entire last summer building it out.
Okay.
And then we opened August 1st.
What was the vision for Spark Studio?
So I needed a home, and I've always wanted to build something in the Loomis boundaries. And this business was the vision is a place that people can do business together. And so say me and an insurance guy and an IT guy, and like we're all, we have this, co-working space, and I'm like, hey, like what you're doing is really cool. Like, can I, share business with you and refer business to you and things like that. And so the vision was that we'd have all these different kinds of businesses. It was not going to be just for real estate agents to set up shop, although they are welcome to do that. And really build a community of small business owners that can refer business together, can support each other. You have a place to work. We have a small content studio. So if you need to, put up your iPhone and make some videos, we have space for that. I have a meeting room that we host regular, education for small business owners, as well as if you just want to rent it and host your own events, you can do that. So it was the goal really, again, was just to build a community of entrepreneurs that otherwise, when you're a solo business owner, you don't have anywhere else. We might be in different levels of our business, but we're all kind of doing the same thing, like where you're putting your head down and you're working and you're getting through, all your appointments or whatever. And so I feel like being in a community of people that are in the same mindset as you, the only thing that can happen from that is everybody gets better together. In my heart and mind, the co-working and open workspace where we have this synergy and we have this community of people isn't as realistic as I want it to be. So a lot of times when people come and they want to take a look at the space, they're concerned about most of the time the people are concerned about them being too loud for everybody else that's in the space, or being on the phone too much, or this or that. And so people are really looking for, a lot of times they're just looking for an office to close the door. I don't know where the disconnect is or why that feels like that. I think too that a lot of remote workers that work for traditional businesses were called back, returned to office later last year. And so that affected, who was coming in. We had a couple of those that decided not, didn't keep their membership because they just can't use the space anymore. They have to go back to their office. In my mind, the content studio would be a huge draw. I needed a place where I could shut the door and have a nice background to create content. And again, that shifted too. I mean, you see people just with a podcast mic sitting on their kitchen table, and platforms are loving that, right? Like all the platforms want just raw, plain. They don't want curated content as much as they had in the past. And so people are just like, oh, I don't need to spend the money on that. I can just pop everything up in my kitchen, right? I still use it. I have members that use it. I mean, we have business. In my mind, again, I was like, this is going to take off so fast. It's going to be so great right off the bat. Loomis needs this because a lot of people in Loomis don't have good high-speed internet, so it was going to be slam dunk easy. And as we know, as entrepreneurs,
oh yeah,
that's not the way it goes all the time.
Totally. But there's some things that worked really well. It sounds like you have some classes that are going on. How are those going?
The education is taking off. I think what matters on whether or not the class is full is that if the speaker helps market the class. So it's been kind of fun to teach the people that they're trying to build a platform and they're trying to, teach their experience to other people or whatever, and I get to teach them like, hey, use your client base same way as I do my client events. If you're an insurance agent and you're calling small business owners that that use you, and you're providing them value and saying, hey, I'm teaching this class on XYZ, like I'd love to invite you, you're providing them value. Even if they pay for the class, the value that you get an opportunity to call your clients without selling them something. And they're like, oh man, that was so cool. Thank you so much for inviting me and letting me know this exists. And so as I've been teaching small business owners that tactic, our classes are getting fuller and fuller, and more people are able to benefit from that opportunity. And again, it's a lot of solopreneurs. I mean, it's a junk hauling guy. It's a guy that washes windows. It's a tree guy. Like, a lot of these types of people are the ones that are coming to the classes. And in the real estate industry, we have immense opportunity for education. Oh, yeah. Like, so many times, all the time, there's somewhere we can go to learn something. And I really felt like a lot of these individual business owners who are just kind of grinding on their own just don't have access to that. And so I really wanted that to be a huge part of what Spark Studio offered to people. The networking's great. Like, I've met a lot of great people. But ultimately, like, they walk away going, man, I learned something that I can use to be successful today. So original marketing plan in my mind was like, okay, we're going to have these classes. We're going to fill them up. People are going to come to class, and then they're going to be like, oh, I need a workspace. That conversion hasn't happened at all.
Understood.
And I don't know why, but again, live and learn.
Yeah. This seems to be kind of like weighing on your heart a little bit, because you really wanted this to happen.
What is happening with the classes where people are just like, they're leaving inspired for their business. They're going home with a new tool or idea that they can use to support their family. Like, that is where my heart was.
Gotcha.
I just wish that it paid its bills, right? Like, you can be passionate about something, but you can't, it can't cost you money every month,
Totally.
So we're in this place where it's like, okay, it's not supporting itself. Yeah. And what do we do now? If
you had a call out to the community for support, what would that be?
Come rent a desk. Like, if you need a workspace, if you need a place that you can build community for your business, I'd love to show you around. Maybe we're going to shift into more classes, because that seems like what the community is attracted to. And so if you see more classes coming up, please come and, pay to come.
So tell me about the classes. Are they free for people? Is there a small fee?
They're usually $20 to $30. Like, it's not a huge investment.
Okay.
But it covers the space. It covers, if we buy breakfast or whatever.
Okay.
We were doing like a free networking meeting every month, and I think we're going to drop it, only because I feel like, again, what's getting traction is the high value classes that really provide something to people.
Give me an example of one of these classes.
So we had a guy that is deep in AI sold out that class. He just talked about, this was, almost a year ago, I think, really how AI, is transforming people's businesses. And it was before really ChatGPT got its legs.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then Chris Camara and Brandon, they do a marketing class that they've sold out twice now. The first time we had to pull chairs from everywhere and cram people in.
It was that many people.
It was that many people.
How many does it hold?
Our meeting room is supposed to hold 15. So that was the other thing that even now, if you try to go find a meeting space, you either have a 5-person conference room option or a 50-person room option. And I saw a space that we could host 15 to 20 where you can have a good class, but it's not an overwhelming, huge space.
Understood.
And so part of it is now these classes are getting popular. Do we convert more of the space into classroom space, or do we keep it? So decisions are being made on how that's going to flow. But also, if you have a 15-person meeting, you have more opportunity to really dive deep with people. Say the presenter, Chris Camara, does insurance, right? And so he has the opportunity to build community for his business by hosting a class and having that value, and gets to meet new people who were invited by other people or whatever.
Yeah.
If you have too big of a class like that, I think it loses its juice, you know?
Oh, yeah. And the synergy
Yeah.
of the group being there together.
In my mind, it's like, yes, I've had some success, and there's so much more to do. And there's so much more that I want to do. And I think part of this Spark Studio not going as well as I wanted is forcing me to slow down and be grateful for what I've done.
Wow, that's huge.
Because I think we get so tunneled on like, okay, I did that now.
Yep.
And
What's
next?
Uh-huh.
That we don't take the time to go, 5 years ago, I would have really loved to be struggling at this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's really put into perspective that I have been successful and I have had success. And if this doesn't work out, I can still have success again. Like it's not an ultimate failure forever, you know?
It's not.
And Spark Studio was never going to replace, like, the business model was never going to replace my real estate income. Real estate was never going away. It was a home for not only my real estate business, but supporting other small business owners in the community and giving them a platform to either create their content, to work, to have meetings, right? And so not everybody needs, you know, to spend a huge dollar amount on private office space.
No.
Sometimes they just need a meeting room once in a while. And so that's where the passion and the vision for that really came from. Like I wanted to be a vehicle for other small business owners' success. And ultimately not even me. They'd be like, oh man, if I hadn't attended that class, I wouldn't have met this person who changed the trajectory of my business, right? And so, or, you know, sitting and working next to someone, I learned this, like we were able to collaborate on something and build something together. So I hope it can be that, but I also don't know that it's a business model that will pay its own bills yet. And if it doesn't, and it doesn't work, I will be sad.
Yeah.
But it'll be okay.
It will be okay.
You always know, like, when you're in the deep of sucky stuff, it's hard to see the next thing, right? Like, you're just deep in the solving whatever the problem is. And if you look back 5 years, 10 years on whatever sucky thing you were going through at that time.
Yeah.
Right? And how much has changed and what you've been able to accomplish. A lot can change in a year. A lot can change in 5 years.
Yeah.
And as you go through more in life, you realize, like, yeah, it's not great. Like, we spent a ton of money building that whole thing out. And I'll just have to go make more somewhere.
Looking ahead, the next 12 months, 24 months, what does that look like for you?
It depends. I think this moment that we're in right now, at this interview moment, it depends. It depends if we can turn Spark Studio around. It depends if we decide to close. Again, real estate will always be
your bread and butter.
My bread and butter and my passion. If for some reason the physical space of Spark Studio goes away, I want to find another, maybe just like different location that we can host classes. I think having the education for small business owners, like, and that passion that I had for that, I think that that's very real and clearly people are responding to it. So do I find, another conference room that I can rent and then just continue to host the classes at a, lower expense, maybe. sell lots of real estate in the meantime.
If you could use this moment to give thanks to some of the people that have helped you on your journey, right? And also community organizations or other businesses that supported you through this journey and you believe will still be there to support you through this next one, right? Because you got this challenge that you're working through right now.
Yeah.
Who would those people be?
Oh, gosh.
Who are those businesses?
That's hard because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of people. There's some people that supported me in building it, right? They were there helping me move furniture and put everything, set up and
literally the grunt work of doing the work.
Bringing a U-Haul. And there's so many people that were there doing that at that time. There are so many people currently just helping me promote the classes and helping me try to get the word out, knowing that it's not working. I don't want to call any one person out because if I did, I feel like I would miss somebody that was really also,
Yeah.
I think when people see that you're passionate about something, they're willing to pick up and help you. And I've learned a lot about just saying, hey, I need help.
Wow.
Because I'm used to being on my own. And so being willing to call your friends up and say, hey, can you get a U-Haul and help me bring all this stuff in? Or one of my friends is a stager for my real estate business. And I called her and I was like, hey, can you come help me figure out the design of how this stuff should all look and all of that. So there's been, there's a lot of people that
have shown up. Yeah. If you were speaking to, let's call it someone that is recently out of high school or college, they don't know what they're really going to do, and you're speaking to them about the opportunity to get into real estate, what would you say?
I had this conversation with a high school student. I guess it was early last school year, maybe October, November. And he came and interviewed me for business class and asked me that question. He says, I'm thinking that maybe real estate or commercial real estate is a path that I want to be on. And I told him to build a platform and create content. It doesn't matter really what your end game is. If you've built a platform online, you could be anything.
When you say a platform, you mean a personal brand?
Yeah, either build your personal brand. He started a podcast interviewing small business owners, very similar to this, out of the studio. Brought a lot of really cool people in that, he, as a high school student, maybe never would have reached out to for advice or information. And so he had an opportunity to really talk to a lot of different people. But he also took that advice and I didn't do that for him, right? I said, hey, my best advice for you at 17, 18 years old is build your brand, build a platform online, whether in 5 years after you graduate college or 4 years that you really want to do real estate, or maybe you're very entrepreneurial and you think of another business that you want to start. Doesn't matter. If you're building a platform where people get to know you, you can basically sell whatever you want online.
It's true.
And he just spent his whole senior year interviewing people and bringing people into the studio. And it was really fun to watch him grab onto an idea and just run with it. Every aspiring young entrepreneur needs to build a brand online, needs to create a digital footprint, and needs to start to just put out content. It doesn't matter if it's good.
Yeah.
You just need to build a following. And at some point, whenever you're ready to start a business, you already have a foundation, right? If you were going to go decide to build and sell a widget and you hadn't already started your personal brand and your platform, you're going to have to start from zero and you already have your widget, right? Yeah. If you already have a personal brand and you go, okay, now I invented this thing, and then you can walk your following through building it, inventing it, doing whatever the thing is. Or if you're going to start in real estate, walking them through, taking your classes and doing your test and, failing at it, whatever, you already have people who are hearing you. So if you take the time through, college, high school, whatever, and just start, obviously you have to build it with the end in mind that it's a business decision. So good content. I saw a post one day and it really changed my perspective. If you think of, you have a message and 100 people saw that, and you put in your mind 100 people in a room, you would be pretty impressed with yourself.
Oh yeah, even if it was 100 or 50.
You would be like, man, especially as in a sales environment, I talked to 50 people today. Like that's incredibly impactful.
Oh yeah.
And I think we need to get away from going viral as the ultimate end game, because if you are a local business like what mine is, I'm not selling real estate in Texas. I'm not selling, I only need a good core group of people who see me online and then refer me business. And so going viral is fun, but when you're building a personal brand, like you don't need a bunch of viral videos to really make an impact and actually like propel your business forward.
Tell the audience how to get a hold of you. Last thing about your business, what you're doing, how to get a hold of you, where to find you, and a little, whatever else you want to finish off with.
Obviously on social. So on Instagram, I'm at Realtor Erika, or you can follow Spark Studio at Spark Studio HQ. And that's where we'll post classes and stuff. Also sparkstudiohq.com keeps, our events and our memberships and all of that is on there. Real estate wise, it's Poindexter Real Estate Group. You can search me up that way. As far as last words, I think if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in the greater Sacramento area, I would love to be of service to you. My biggest role in my real estate business is to be an advisor and a guide, and I do a really good job at that. And so I want to be the person that you think of when you are in a situation where you want to make a move. It can be really stressful. We have a lot of systems and processes in place to make it as easy as possible for the most stressful thing you'll probably do in the next, 5 years. And so I think, I want you to hire the person that will be the best for you and your family. And I always want an opportunity to interview and see if I'm the person. And then for Spark Studio, if you're a small business owner and you need a place to work or host a meeting or have a class, I would love the opportunity to show you around and see if we're a good fit for you.
Thank you, Erika.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been great getting to know you and your business. Till next time, remember, heroes will be remembered, but legends never die.